essence about being identical and distinct, or you're going to bring about what else? What's the other one? There's a few arguments Christians bring, but I know.
Are you going to actually debate the topic? Since you know the arguments, are you actually going to debate them?
To be honest, I've debated what's his name, Dominic. If we just go round and round in circles, so there's not really much.
That's not what I asked.
You can carry on like debating Muslims that aren't that knowledgeable and try to make.
That's not what I asked.
Wait, are you knowledgeable?
Listen, I know the responses, but we just go around in circles. So there's literally
it's
no.
Simple. Are you knowledgeable? Because I don't want to be unfair and be accused of targeting people who are not knowledgeable. Are you knowledgeable?
But you always do that.
Islam?
I'd say I'm kind of for the arguments that Christians bring. Yeah, kind of.
Okay, good. So are you knowledgeable enough to defend Tawhid?
Go on, bring me the argument about Tawhid. See if I've heard it before.
Do you accept his challenge to debate?
Yeah, I'm saying bring him the argument.
We can talk about it right now. We can talk about it right now to see if Tawhid is coherent. First, can you tell me, because I don't want to assume you.
How old are Yeshua?
I don't know if you know what school of thought you follow or whatever. So tell me what Tawhid is to you.
It's the oneness of Allah, that's it.
The what?
The oneness.
The oneness of Allah?
Indivisible.
Indivisible? Do you believe, in the different forms of Tawhid, like his lordship, his attributes and stuff like that?
Wow, you know that? Well, yeah.
Of course.
That's not bad, yeah.
Okay, so you hold to that. So the point of Allah's of Tawhid and his oneness and uniqueness is that he is absolutely unique and other than he's the only one with these type of attributes and all these kind of things, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So do you believe that Allah is the only uncreated being?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also believe that his speech is uncreated?
Yep.
Is his speech him?
Nope.
Okay, so you have Allah who's uncreated, and then you have his speech that's uncreated. Is the Quran his speech?
Yep.
Is the Quran uncreated?
Yep.
So the Quran is not Allah, correct?
Nope. Yeah, it's not.
So you have the Quran that's separate from Allah, and then you have Allah. Both of these things are uncreated.
No, they're not separate. It's not separate, no.
So distinct, then you would say.
It's distinct but not separate, yeah.
So the Quran is, like shares in the essence of Allah?
It's not that it shares, because that would be saying that you're trying to say that it's equal.
I mean, so it's either it's Allah or not Allah, right? You're saying it's not separate from him, so it's within his essence then, right?
It refers to the essence. The essence, the attributes make up the essence.
The attribute, okay, good. So the Quran is something that makes up the essence of God. It shares in the essence of God, right? Which is why it's uncreated.
It's saying that it refers to the essence. The intrinsic.
So again, the Quran that you say is not Allah, it's distinct from Allah, but not separate from Allah, because it still has and shares within Allah's essence, right? Very good. So then your Allah is not absolutely singular. You have something that's not Allah, something that's distinct from him, that's uncreated, that shares within his essence, that's not him. So why do you believe in a unipersonal God? It sounds like you believe
because we don't attribute a personhood or a separate consciousness to the attributes.
Will the Quran speak to Allah on your behalf?
It will. What's it called?
It will intercede.
Intercede.
What is interceding? What does it mean to intercede?
Like trying to help me, basically.
Exactly.
Like, on my behalf.
It's going to speak on your behalf to Allah, right? It has to have a consciousness in order to be able to communicate, right?
This is one of the active attributes of Allah, which means that it comes under His will.
No worries. So under Allah's will, the Quran will develop a consciousness that is able to defend and intercede and speak on your behalf, right?
No, it will come under Allah's will, and He will make it to. It will be the Quran that speaks, but it's not that it's going to gain a new consciousness or anything, because it's under the control of Allah.
Can you speak and communicate without being conscious? Without a consciousness is what I mean.
I mean, God can do anything, no?
No. Is God the Quran?
Is God the? What do you mean by that?
Is God the Quran?
Like how is the Quran identical to God?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay, good. So the Quran is not God. So you have the Quran that develops an ability because of Allah's will, develops an ability to speak and communicate on your behalf back to Allah, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's consciousness. That's now the Quran has a consciousness, has an awareness where it's able to defend you and step in on your behalf and talk to
Not
Allah.
really. I mean, you speaking and consciousness isn't. I don't see how that's the same.
You cannot communicate without a consciousness.
Why not?
Because it requires a consciousness for you to communicate.
But we've already agreed that the Quran is under the control of Allah, is under His will.
Whether that's no problem. So then that means that under Allah's will, the Quran has now developed a consciousness to defend you.
No, but you keep on saying consciousness. Just because Allah controls it to whatever. I mean, I'm conceding the fact that the Quran speaks, right, on my behalf. I'm not even sure about that, but for the sake of argument, I'll.
No, you are. No, you're absolutely right. The Quran, it will even appear as a man on that day.
As a pill man, yeah. But that's the.
Doesn't the Hadith also say that the Quran knows whether or not, because it's saying like, hey, you recited this, you recited that. So doesn't that entail cognizance?
Yeah, that is cognizance. That's the Quran becomes cognitive, right? It becomes conscious. It becomes aware. That's why
you don't understand me. If it's under His will and He commands it or He controls it to speak, it's not saying that He's giving it a consciousness. It's basically if it's part of Him, it's part of Allah. So if He's making it to speak, then it's not saying that a separate consciousness from Allah is speaking.
Very good. So now we have the Quran that shares in the consciousness of Allah, that's able to speak to Allah on behalf of
it's not equal, because we already said it's not equal.
You believe in a God who's multi-person.
We already said it's not equal.
Oh, by the way,
they can't have two consciousness.
Said as well.
You believe in a God that's multi-personal. Tawhid is out the window.
You can say that, but like I said, these aren't two different consciousness.
Oh, by the way,
no worries. You can have it within Allah, the same consciousness, but multi-personal. You have a God who's multi-personal. Tawhid has just went out the window, man.
Listen, just because you keep telling me that it gains a consciousness doesn't mean it's true. Right? This is your own interpretation.
That's what's.
I mean, this isn't what we believe.
Well, remembering agree, there are Trinitarian views that have only one consciousness, and yet the three persons share in that one consciousness. Mm-hmm. So to simply say, well, there's only one consciousness, doesn't get away from the problem. It's still a multi-personal.
No. I'm not. We don't apply your Trinity to this. I'm saying that only Allah is a consciousness.
I'm saying you're applying the Trinity to this,
right? Exactly. Huh? So here you're arguing against the Trinity. You're saying that it's incoherent. Yet the very same principles are found in your Tawhid, and say, well, it's not the same.
What? No, because you're trying to attribute consciousness to an attribute.
Hold up, Abs. You keep running your mouth. I'm speaking. So again, to simply say, well, no, it's not the same, without actually explaining why.
Why'd you make that voice?
Because you're too busy running your mouth and then trying to make it so it's not my voice. So again, to simply say, well, it's not the same, and yet have the very principles in which Trinitarians define the doctrine of the Trinity is not an actual argument against defending the coherence of Tawhid. You're simply stating the same things that we are, but saying it's different de fide. That's not the way you argue.
You're just trying to misrepresent what I said. I never once did I concede that the Quran has its own consciousness. I never once conceded that.
You don't have to concede that. You just demonstrated that.
That's the whole point of what I said.
Listen, you came to the conclusion yourself, not even from what I said. You came to the conclusion yourself.
Well, no, we came to the conclusion based on. We came to the conclusion
not based on what I said, based on your own understanding.
No, excuse me. Based on your admission that the Quran develops a speaking ability, develops and will defend you on the day of judgment, intercede for you, and speak back to Allah on your behalf. Like, wait, Allah, He recited my surah, so He's good. He's good. The Quran will speak on your behalf back to Allah, to the person in whom He shares the essence with. You have a multiplicity of persons within your Godhead.
He will even appear as a man, it says.
If God chose
appears as a
man.
Yeah,
so he even enters into human flesh.
So Abs, wait.
Let me say something.
Let him respond first, and then you go ahead, Amen.
If God chose to get a rock, put a mouth in it, and the rock says hello, Does the rock have a consciousness now?
The rock has now, God has given the ability for the rock to have consciousness.
What?
It is now cognitive because it's able to speak now.
It's not cognitive. Okay,
Yeah,
so just for that one moment, just that one instance, God put a mouth on it and it spoke. You're saying it now has a consciousness.
Yeah, if it's able to speak, if it's ordered to form statements,
an argument on behalf of somebody.
Yeah, and can actually intercede. Then
no. Just this analogy for the rock.
If I could finish, Abs, because you're too busy running your mouth, you're not listening. If it can speak and be spoken to, and even intercede, which requires an argument to be made, that it requires intelligence, and therefore would require consciousness.
Okay, one sec. I was talking about the analogy for the rock. God commanded the rock just to say hello once, and then close its mouth forever. You're telling me that the rock has a consciousness?
So Abs. So
we can't agree on the argument.
Abs. So in Sahih Bukhari, where it's talking about that hadith where it says there's a rock or there's a tree, and then it says, hey, behind me there's a Yahudi.
Okay. Can I? I just want to interfere in something.
No, cannot interfere. Relax.
Let me set this up real quick. Amen. I'll let you continue. For the Muslims, for you guys, when you guys come up, I don't know what it is about you guys, but you guys really have this habit of thinking that you can just speak when you come up out of turn while somebody is speaking. So here, you're going to... So do not come up and do that again. The next person that does that will be kicked down immediately. You won't have a space to speak here. All right?
Can I speak after he finishes his statement?
If I give you the turn,
I just want to say something. I want to get down because I have something to do.
Okay, beautiful. So go do that then. If you have something to do, go do that. Come back when you're more free. Go ahead.
Arrogance. Perfect. So it was interesting that he brought up the situation about the rock because I believe it's in Sahih Bukhari. It talks about that tree or the rock or whatever, and then it says, "Hey, look, Muslim behind me. There's a Yehudi. There's a, I don't want to say, but you guys know the Hadith I'm talking about.
Right. Right.
Come and unalive him or whatever." So what's interesting is that in order for the rock to even say that, it has to have cognizance to know, because it's saying, "Hey, look, behind me, there is such and such." It's making the Muslim aware of something that it knows, which entails cognizance. Now, Abs, I think what you're missing, the point that we're trying to make here is, so it seems that within this idea of Tawhid, that the Quran or the Kalam Allah, right, the speech of Allah and Allah share in some type of hypostatic union almost, or hypostases, and that thing that they share in, that substance, seems to be eternality. Because how is it that the Quran, or I'll be more specific, the Kalam Allah, the speech of Allah, is eternal and Allah is eternal? They are distinct. They're both eternal and they're distinct, but they're not. The Quran is not Allah and Allah is not the Quran. So this is the problem. And it seems that what Tawhid tries to do, because it just means unification, it seems that what Tawhid is trying to do is all of these sifat, like all these attributes, it just seems to try to put them all into one. And this is where you get the idea of Tawhid. So basically what we're saying is you can't come and attack the Christians for having the idea of the multiplicity of persons within the Godhead, when even in Islam, you have the same thing.
So with the rocks, are you telling me that the rocks have eyesight and feeling and hearing and can see people that can be behind them?
Well, I mean, how did it, keyword, know? How did it know that there was a Yehudi behind it?
That's the thing. That's the problem, because you're asserting that these rocks gain consciousness just simply because they can speak.
I'm not asserting anything, bro. I'm just reading what it said. It said, "Hey, Muslim, there's a such and such behind me." I mean, in order for it to say that, it had to know.
Respectfully, this is just your own logic, your own intellect. This is your own assertion.
Really? Okay, so if I'm walking down the street, right, and I see somebody,
this is the problem, because if you're trying to say that the rock gains consciousness, then the rock would have to be able to see, to feel,
I'm giving you another analogy, since Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari becomes Da'if Bukhari. So if I'm walking down the street and I see somebody behind you and they're getting ready to mug you, and I say, "Hey, Abbas, there's somebody behind you," that doesn't mean
Whether they can see or hear, there's cognizance. There's cognitive.
There's a way for
Abbas, that's the inductive argument that's being portrayed, right? If you know that there is somebody behind you, you possess cognizance. Maybe you can see them, maybe you can hear. Maybe
how does the rock know them?
By the way, you don't need eyesight in order to have consciousness.
But you do need...
for the rock to know. How does the rock know? That's what I'm asking. How does the rock know?
But you do need cognizance in order to know. Yeah. You guys are missing the point.
How does a rock know even know what a human is? Like, is this these assertions?
That's literally the
whole says, hold on, bro. So when the rock says, "Hey, Muslim, there's a such and such behind me," are you trying to say that the rock doesn't know that such and such a Yehudi is a human?
No, I'd say that's Allah making the rock speak. I wouldn't say that a rock just magically gains consciousness and then starts to know when to speak, how to speak. I mean, it's a bit of a weird analogy, a weird assertion you're trying to give, but I'd say that it's Allah that makes the rock speak.
This is really what I'm trying to say. That just because
Allah makes the Quran speak for this argument, then I wouldn't concede that this means that it gains consciousness.
This is kind of crazy, bro. Like, the fact that we're arguing about cognizance when it's apparent is kind of insane.
It's Islam. So here it is, guys. This is where we're at. We're at the point where you have the hadiths that say that the Quran will appear as a man, intercede and speak on behalf of the believers, and speak to Allah Himself. Shares within the nature of Allah and is uncreated itself. So this is either your problem. Either you admit that your God has a plurality within His essence, or you believe that in two different gods, one of them being the Quran, who's uncreated.
Listen, it's the same thing for the Kaaba. The Kaaba on the Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to speak as well, but we don't say it's going to gain a consciousness. This is just your assertions.
But I don't care what you say. That's what it is. You say it's not a consciousness.
It's your assertions. It's not what it is. It's your assertions.
That's literally what it is. In order for you to intercede and communicate, you have to have a consciousness to do that. But
no, because we say that Allah has the control over it. We don't say that it gains its consciousness.
This is the LPT, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, by the way, real quick,
because I'm now going to say what you told me. Since you're not Muslim, you can't understand.
I want to press him on something. Is that fine with you, Logic?
Sure.
All right. So, did you say that the Quran makes up Allah's essence? That it's a part of His essence?
Not part, but it refers to the essence. That would be the better word. It's intrinsic.
Mm-hmm. So, does it make up His essence?
The attributes, they're like... they make up the essence.
They make up the essence, so... Then you're saying... Okay, so if...
They refer to the essence, that's the word that would...
I had an issue when you said that it's part of His essence, because if you're saying that it's part of His essence...
Yeah, not part, that's the wrong word, yeah.
Yeah, because you're saying He's like composite, in a sense.
Yeah, that's the wrong word. Refers to the essence.
All right, my bad, baby.
Okay, I think that's it for now. We're gonna let.
Can I ask one question?
What's up, Mufti?
Let's see.
When we go to the Quran, right, Surah 15, right, verse 29, it talks about the soul of man, which would be a spirit. So a spirit in Islam is what has the ability to have consciousness, right? So now when you get to talking about the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that gives Allah has given the ability, right? Because Allah is all powerful and gives the ability for quote unquote, the rock to speak. Say there's a Yahudi behind me, or to say that on the day of judgment, our hands will speak. That is the power of Allah giving power or authority over something that He already has authority over. Not too many brothers are going to hit you with that, but that's the answer.
No, but, so you just affirmed that Allah just gave the ability for these objects to have, even for just a second, cognitive ability.
It's not consciousness. I didn't say consciousness. It's power.
So by Allah's power, these objects will now begin to testify against or for people, right?
Correct. But that doesn't give it consciousness. So that, no, Surah 15, verse 29, is talking about the spirit of man.
Mufti, you're conflating terms. Cognizance and consciousness are two different things. We're saying that the rock has cognizance. Like, for instance, somebody who's brain dead can be conscious, right? But they're not cognitive in the sense that they can tell that there's somebody behind them. The point we're trying to make here is, and you just granted it to us, Allah gave the rock cognizance, bro. That's the point.
It's just funny because we know how things work. Like, especially when we look at like passages in both the Quran and the Bible. Like, for example, God says that Abel's blood cries out from the ground. We know that it doesn't have an actual mouth and cries out. This is why we call it a figure of speech. And what's that figure of speech? Personification. Personification. So if something cries out, it is activating the personality and the quality of a person. So if something is speaking, like actually speaking, it is holding the quality of a person, making it a person. So if you're going to say that the Quran will actually appear as a pale man, as the Hadith says, and will testify before you, it is enacting and displaying the qualities of a person, making it a person.
Is this so?
You just muted yourself on accident.
Can I answer this, please?
No, not your turn yet. And matter of fact, before you speak,
you just muted yourself on accident.
Can I answer this, please?
Hold on, you gotta go down, mufti. Matter of fact, you gotta go down and then come back up because you got that. I think you might have got a call or something. But hey, guys, as soon as you see Mufti request, please bring him back up. Nobody else. But Anna, you can speak once you say Wallahi. I will not run after I say what I have to say, but I will have this conversation. Can you promise us that?
Go ahead.
No, I need you to confirm. I need you to swear by Allah that you're not going to run after you say what you have to say.
You don't worship Allah, so I'm not going to say it to you.
No, but you do. So you say, swear by your God that you will not run.
I promise I will not leave. So go ahead.
Okay, good. All right. So go ahead, Mufti.
Now, so we're talking about Surah 15, verse 29. You can read that. You can pull it up. We're going to talk about the spirit, right?
What about the spirit?
Because you keep like cognizance, consciousness, whatever the word play, semantics. You guys are.
You got a call again? I'm going to bring you back down and bring you back up. You better answer that, man.
Oh, by the way, they don't have to leave the live. They don't have to drop down. If they just simply swipe out of the app and then come back into it, it fixes it.
Oh.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So, guys, this is very simple. If something has now the ability, has knowledge of something, has the ability to communicate actively, even so much as to make a case for you, it now has cognitive ability. There's a mind there. Personhood.
Wasn't that the Quran knew about it?
You ready for the answer now?
Beforehand.
Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, Avery. When we die, are we going to be hungry on Day of Judgment? Yes or no?
I don't know what your Quran says. What does it say?
No, but it don't matter. Are we going to be hungry?
It doesn't matter.
Listen, what you believe in.
Oh, what I believe in. Okay, what I believe. All right.
Are we going to be hungry?
I will not be hungry.
Are we going to be hungry on Day of Judgment?
No, according to my belief, no.
Are we going to be using the bathroom on Day of Judgment?
We're not going to be doing that.
So we're not going to be doing anything on this earth during the Day of Judgment, right?
I wouldn't say anything, but in those physical matters, no.
We
won't be using the bathroom. We won't be using the bathroom.
You're trying to imply that during the Day of Judgment,
We won't be using the bathroom. There's an echo, Anna.
to imply that during the Day of Judgment.
All right, so I'm gonna bring you back up, Anna. Where's Mufti at?
I'm looking for him, but I'm still not sure what any of that has to do with cognition at all.
Yeah, well,
Avery, will I get to ask a question after soon?
As long as it's on the subject.
Okay, so it's about what we were just discussing about centers of consciousness.
Okay, good. So what is your argument that the Quran and these things don't have a consciousness?
No, it's about your religion.
Okay, so you want to go off Tawhid, of course.
Typical.
Yeah, I'd say that I kind of made my case. I don't think we can agree.
You didn't make a case at all.
No, because we can't really agree on just speaking means consciousness. We can't agree on that.
The only thing you did was nuh-uh.
Right, exactly. That
Yeah,
I mean, there's a difference
agree on that.
between agreeing to disagree and then nuh-uh.
Well, no, because I said that speaking doesn't necessarily mean consciousness.
Well, you simply asserted it. You didn't prove it.
Yeah, you gotta demonstrate
with
that
the rock.
can,
I mean, you kind of said rocks have consciousness now because they can speak, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, if a rock is given the ability to now speak on behalf of somebody, then it has now a consciousness.
No way,
so simple as that. You have to demonstrate an example where something is able to speak or intercede, communicate effectively on behalf of itself or someone else, and that it has no consciousness. That's not cognitive.
So can God make a rock speak without? Can God make a rock speak without granting it consciousness?
By nature, by definition, its speaking is granting it consciousness. That's a contradictory question.
It's not. No, speaking isn't contradictory question. It's not.
Can you give us a logical source in order to back up that denial?
Yeah, like I keep on saying.
Possibility. I mean, if you're going to argue philosophically, then give us a source, man. Because
like I keep on saying, just because God makes a rock speak doesn't mean that the rock magically gains consciousness and knows how to read and write and make math. It doesn't mean that.
Hold on.
Nobody said that.
Hold on. Is that you, Amen?
Yeah.
Okay. Before you are allowed on my panel, I'm gonna need you to apologize for blaspheming Jesus and the Holy Spirit and Mary and all that kind of stuff.
Where did I blaspheme them?
I was in your room and you was talking about how God blasphemed Jesus and all this kind of stuff. So.
He never will.
So if you want to speak on this panel, that's what you have to do.
I just want to quickly tell the Muslims that the Hadith is weak.
I bet. Get on out of here.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Because the Hadith that I read, it says that the Quran will say.
Yeah, the Quran. It's Sahih Bukhari.
Sorry, the rock will say about Jesus.
Even if something quote unquote they say Sahih Bukhari, right? There is a chain of narration called the Ijtihad.
Yeah, right. It's good. It's Sahih. It's not. The chain is good.
Right. So you have. Right. So there is. What comes out
brother, we're familiar with the different types of.
I get it.
Weak and stuff like that. Can you guys, if you're trying to say now all of a sudden, guys, this hadith is now weak. Can you guys provide evidence for it?
There is.
I'm so glad I have this just right on hand, because this is what every single one of y'all do. Mm-hmm. And if you do it again, I'm going to have to tell you all one rule. I am going to have to tell you all one rule, and I don't want to do it. I'm going to be kind to you. I don't want to do it. So could you display for us
I'm gonna
how that it's daif, how it's daif?
There's a chain of narration. There could be many hadith.
Let me just say one thing.
That could be daif, that could be weak. It's fine. Just because
Sahih al-Bukhari, when Sahih al-Bukhari is narrated by Abu Huraira or Aisha, al-Mu'mineen, and all these high scholars that are authentic, or otherwise, if you're saying that those hadith are weak, we would like you to bring a source or something that will say that this hadith, the Sahih al-Bukhari, is weak, or otherwise you have no excuses, brother, because Sahih, just that word Sahih means. It means authentic by itself. This is why they called al-Bukhari, Imam al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari.
Hey guys, wait. You notice that we went through this entire conversation. It's been 40 minutes? We've been on these same hadiths, and it takes one Muslim who hasn't been in this conversation this entire time to even mention, hey, yo, this hadith is weak.
How long have I been here?
And they all throw them under the bus. That's fine.
Wait, Mufti. Who?
I don't really get into hadith, bro. I believe in hadith. Some is weak. I don't know, bro. I didn't watch 30 years. Hadith. I don't have.
Who is Kendrick Wilder? Who is Kendrick? Kendrick, are you a Muslim? You're muted.
I didn't bring him up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. 1 second. You got to mute your mic because you got background. Okay.
Hey, Mufti, you brought up from what I'm kind of in and out doing stuff, but from what I remember, you brought up the claim that it was daif.
No, it wasn't him. It was the brother who did that. Amen came up and tried to just distract me by saying that it's weak without any evidence. It's from Sahih al-Bukhari. It's from the Sahih Hadith. Graded Sahih by Al-Albani himself, that it's Sahih. So
okay. Because I was gonna ask if it was daif, or even if it was like Hassan, then who in the isnad makes it that way? But yeah, that's just to distract. I'm sorry, guys.
I want to correct something, if you don't mind, Godlogic. There is no, like the chain of narrations called ijtihad. Ijtihad is totally something different, bro. I know you want to sound like, smart and all that, but don't make the mistake here, bro. We know about Islam.
So, getting back to this, the Quran intercedes on your behalf, develops a consciousness to where it defends you reciting it, speaking back to Allah, and yet you want to say that it's not another God or whatever, it's still part of Allah's nature and essence. This is where you guys have a lot of trouble.
Why?
We understand it as it's the recitation that
well, this what we'll say is that you have absolutely no grounds to stand on to argue.
No, we didn't, because we have Tawhid, which is about
let me hear Mufti, because he's been trying.
What verse are you referring to? And then what is the tafsir behind the specific ayah in which you speak of?
It's actually a hadith.
It's tafsir, bro.
It's a hadith. It's in Sahih Bukhari. That's a hadith that talks about how the Quran will intercede on your behalf on the day of judgment.
So what is the interpretation behind this? What does it mean to supersede?
To intercede.
Okay.
To intercede, it talks about how it will speak on your behalf. It'll pray for you on that day and it'll defend you in front of Allah. Like it'll say, he recited my surahs. He recited this at night. He did this. It'll say what you done and how you recited it and defend you.
Right. So
it's the recitation.
If a person was to believe in the Quran, right, in its entirety, if you were to act upon what is in it in its entirety, if you were to recite the Al-Fatiha in its entirety throughout your daily salahs, what does this mean? So therefore, when you're reciting the verse, the speech of Allah, what does this mean to do for the believer?
So you reciting the Quran and believing in the Quran will give you points for on that day, the Quran will then speak on your behalf.
We're going to use, what logic are we using? We're using a Christian perspective, or are we using a biased perspective, or we can use a Muslim perspective? What are we going to do?
We're just using the plain reading of the text.
Take off your logic hat and put on your Muslim hat.
You're not funny, bro.
He's funny.
He's pretty funny. He's pretty funny. But we're pretty lighthearted here, Mufti. We're pretty lighthearted.
I get that. I'm not tripping. I'm just saying you feel me? Like,
hey, I got it from another. I got it from a Muslim. So hey, if that's not funny, just blame him.
Right?
Jeremiah, funny though.
Godlogic, can I ask a question regarding this? Is it okay?
Sure.
Hey, Mufti, let's say, the ayah that talks about Muhammad marrying his stepson's wife, the Zainab?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, do you know, or you're just asking me?
What verse is it? I'm asking.
No, do you know what I'm talking about? I don't have the reference, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Chapter 33, verse.
She would have been forbidden to have been married.
Good. Okay. So if you know about this, I want to ask you a specific question about it. So according to you, the Quran is Allah's word, right? That uncreated, always existed, uncreated word of Allah, right? So if that's the case, just, bear with me, okay? I'll explain to you what's the problem. According to this logic, the Quran actually making it to happen because in the Quran, we know that Quran was written on the paper, on the parchments and all the different things in this 5th century, right? That has to happen. Even it was from eternity. This has to happen. Allah has to confide Himself into this verses to make it happen. Allah doesn't have any type of freedom because it has been in the Quran. You understand my logic?
Allah has no freedom in the Quran.
It's low-key a different argument.
Allah has no freedom because of the Quran. It has to happen the same way that the Quran talks about, because it's the word of Allah and created the word of Allah.
Same thing with simplicity on this. We don't believe it.
A good argument, but it's slightly different now.
Okay, go ahead, brother. I wanna learn from you.
That's divine simplicity. We don't believe that.
So did anybody have a response to the Quran being able to intercede, have a consciousness? Like that's what we're on.
Yes, the recitation. It's the recitation of the Quran that intercedes. It's not the Quran.
It's not the recitation. It says it's the Quran itself that intercedes.
I can show you.
But it's literally the ayahs. What he's telling you is the verses, the ayahs. That's what it is. So if we understand the ayah means to elevate or to rise in ranks. You see what I'm saying? Like the Quran, bro, is the speech of Allah. I don't think it's hard for you to understand this though, because you're not a Muslim. Dude, listen. Don't do that. Like, don't insult my intelligence. I'm not insulting you.
Yeah, you are by telling me. Hold on, Mufti. I can hear the words that's coming out of your mouth. What's coming out of your mouth isn't rocket science. So you saying that the Quran is Allah's word, I get what you're saying. Don't say that I don't understand that, because I do. I actually understand this stuff. I would argue, well, a Muslim would argue that I understand it more than you do. So please,
not me.
Just
another one.
Okay, sure. We'll demonstrate this as we continue this conversation. But go ahead and show me how what you're saying is conducive to what the Hadith says. That not the recitation, not the good that you've done. It's the Quran itself that will speak on your behalf.
It literally says here, Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Imran, on the day of resurrection, will come as 2 clouds, or 2 shades, or 2 flocks of birds. 2 flocks of birds in ranks, pleading for those who recite them. Recite Surah Al-Baqarah. For to take recourse to it is a blessing, and to give it up is a cause of grief, and the magicians cannot confront it. So it literally says that these 2 surahs will come as 2 clouds or 2 flocks of birds. So not only are they going to take form, but those forms are going to be speaking. They're going to be pleading for you to Allah.
Yeah. Can you make my screen bigger now?
Are you gonna have a response to this?
What is the issue with this? I don't see the problem with it. What's the problem with it?
The problem is that Tawhid goes out the window.
I'm saying though, hold on. Why does it make Tawhid go out the window? It sounds like you're trying to.
Allah's not absolutely one. That's why.
If the Quran speaks on the Day of Judgment, is because of the will of Allah. Allah allowed it to. Just because the Quran was made by Allah, or it has a consciousness, or whatever.
It's not made. It's uncreated.
Revealed. I'm sorry, revealed. I'm sorry, but the thing that I'm saying here is this: just because Allah allows something to take place does not mean that it is God. Because what you're saying, hold on.
Let me just read this real quick.
What you're saying here is your God. You're saying the mountains is God. You're saying the shoe is God.
No, we're not. No. So Kendrick, pay attention to the argument, brother. The argument is that the Quran is uncreated.
Mm-hmm.
The mountains aren't uncreated. The tree, no. The Quran is uncreated. So then you have this uncreated thing that is able, who is not Allah. The Quran is not Allah. It's distinct from Allah. So you have something else that's uncreated, that's not Allah, that will also speak on Allah, on the behalf of believers, will intercede and speak to Allah, communicate with Him.
Yeah, let me just read this because it responds to what
that shows where the oneness of Allah comes into question. This problem.
Godlogic, do you have the hadith that talks about the Quran coming as a pale man?
I didn't get it.
Not the birds.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah, it's weak, by the way. It's weak. But anyway, let me respond to Black Daughter about the birds, the flock birds. So this is what it's referring to, right? The Black Daughter. This is what.
It's Hassan. What are you talking about?
No, the one about the pale man. About the pale man.
Wait,
but the Quran is literally the word of Allah. So if we were citing the word of God,
the pale man one is
guys, one at a time, please. So let
No, but this isn't.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm responding to Black Daughter. So this is about the 2 flocks, about the Surah Baqarah and Imran, right? So let's go down and see what it says. What was narrated from the words of Al-Baqarah and Imran will come like 2 clouds, is that their reward will come to the one who read them and will shade him on the day of resurrection, and their reward will come to a man in his grave, and it will come to a man on the day of resurrection and argue in his defense. It's the reward.
A reward? So what is the reward?
So because I can go back here as well.
So is the reward a substance, or is it?
Right, that actually refutes his position.
We tell you something and we try to attribute godliness to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what you're saying, because
one second, I got something else. 1 sec.
So first it went from something that is at least something that we could actually look at to be physical. But now what quote unquote is the reward? Because apparently if it's not the Quran, what is this quote unquote reward?
It's the action. I've got something else to show as well.
So now we have not just the flocks of birds that's coming.
Oh my God! You see what I mean?
According to this, it's the reward of Surah Al Imran and the reward of Surah Al Baqarah that will come and argue. So the reward itself is arguing on behalf of the believer.
Yeah. Right. And even then he tried to say that the other hadith where the Quran comes as a pale man is da'if, it's unreliable. But as we see here, it's Hassan.
It can mean Hassan and da'if, but anyway, the Quran right, it's good.
It means good. It means good. So how can
okay, no problem. I'll grant you.
What's the definition of da'if?
No problem. I'll grant you it. The Quran will come on the day in the form of a man, right? On the day of resurrection, and will intercede for his companions.
Wait, Obbs. I wanted to say something really quick, and then I'm gonna drop down because I just got home. That thing that you brought up from Islam Q&A, it kind of made the argument for you worse. Bro. Because,
exactly.
Because now, okay, yeah, I'm about to explain it. Because now, originally, we were just saying that the Kalam Allah, that the speech of Allah was just like one thing besides Allah, right? That they're both eternal. But now what you just showed us is that Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Ali Imran are distinct as well. So it's not just the Quran as a whole. It's
let's look at it.
Respectfully, this is the problem.
There's actually more surahs are gonna come like that.
Listen, I know.
Okay,
there's a reason why those surahs are distinct.
Wait, Kendrick, bro, I'm really trying to be chill. Like I'm not even trying to go there. So it's
if anybody else interrupts, I'm dropping them.
Yeah. So yeah, basically all I'm saying is it just made it worse for you, bro, because now it's like the Quran is like cut up into like 114 distinct eternal persons because they're each cognizant. Because when you said that Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Ali Imran will come and they'll both be doing what? Pleading. So they're distinct in cognizance. It just kind of made it worse.
You can't do that.
I'll be honest. This is why I don't like the Quran.
You can't say so it is this or so it is that or that means this or that means that or this gotta mean this. You have to take it for what it says and literally for what it is.
That's what we're doing.
Wait, guys, wait.
Let him finish. Hold up. Are you done, Kendrick?
No, not at all. I mean, I was interjecting and being rude, so I'm gonna let him finish.
Yeah, just notice the hypocrisy of this, because he said, "Well, we just have to take things for what it says," and yet when we define the doctrine of the Trinity the way that we define it, they say, "No, it's three gods because we say so." No matter what you say, because we define it in this way, it's three gods. Notice the hypocrisy that comes out of their mouth when we actually use their same method of interpretation to their own Quran and to their own Hadith.
Yeah. Well, no, Black Daughter, because there is no explanation for that.
It's like, no, you just have to take it for what it is. Why aren't you doing the same thing with us and our beliefs?
No, I get that.
That's not true because there's no explanation for the LPT. That's not true.
I definitely get that question. You asking us why we don't take it absolute. Whereas what we delivering is absolute. Well, when you deliver a monotheism versus a triune God, those are two different narratives.
That again presupposes that Trinitarianism is not monotheism, and the argument that Trinitarianism is not monotheism only came around in the 7th century. It is historically not the case. You, sir, are a Johnny-come-lately trying to place yourself into historics where you don't belong. Please keep your precepts. Ken, I am literally on my last sentence. Please keep your false presuppositions out of my Bible and out of my history. So now carry on.
Okay, so when it came in the 7th century, why was it come? Why was paganism ruled as something to be dismissed from the earth?
Is that anachronism is wrong?
Conversation over, gentlemen. Have a good night.
What do you think you actually did something? Do you think that we're arguing that Trinitarianism is idolatry? That has nothing to what we said.
No, listen. I ain't put myself in your Bible. You clown me. You was trying to set me straight. You was like, we've been using statues. We've been using this. We've been using that before the Quran even came into existence in the 7th century. So then by me proving the Quran's validity, by it being a monotheistic religion and teaching to remove these things between you and your creator, remove these elements between you and your creator, I asked you why was this coming to the earth, and you answered it because idolatry is wrong. To put an image between you and God, to put anything between you and God, whether it's a cigarette, whether it's a woman, whatever it is, all of that stuff plays a factor and it plays in different ways. The Quran is simply a measurement stick, like you're supposed to do this and do that. Like, you know, I just killed that when you asked that.
Ken, did that have anything to do with what I said about its claim about the Trinity not being monotheism?
The Trinity becomes from Tammuz in Babylon, and Babylon.
Black Doctor, your presupposing the Trinity is true.
Hold on. Now Ken is making historical arguments. If you're gonna make that argument, prove it, sir. Prove it.
It's in the Quran.
Where does the Quran say that the Trinity came from Tammuz, sir?
No. I said in the Quran, it says that Harut and Marut were two angels that came down from Babylon, to Babylon and taught magic. Magic is the practice of spells and incantations, and magic is a form of paganism where you put something between you and God.
Does that have anything to do with the doctrine of the Trinity?
Has nothing to do with it. But here's something fun. Kendrick, where do these angels learn their magic from?
Where do the angels learn their magic from?
Yeah.
God bless everybody. God bless.
What's up, James? Yeah. Where do they learn the magic from?
Magic by itself is an act of God.
So Allah is the one who sent the angels, taught the angels paganism, sent them down to teach paganism. Yes?
It says in the Quran.
Yeshua, this is crazy. So Allah is the source of paganism.
You created paganism according to your Quran.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That is what you said.
Me being a Muslim and believing in the oneness of Allah, I'm not going to allow that.
Wait. One second, guys. One second. One at a time. Just hold on a second. Hold on a second. One second. Hold on. I just forgot one of my props here. 1 second.
Man, gonna pull out the whole chart for you.
So if you understand that Shaitan.
Wait, one second. Before you go ahead, Mufti. Before you go ahead, I'm gonna let you cook. I promise. I'm gonna let you cook. But yeah, all right. So now go ahead. So you're saying that Kendrick is wrong?
The
religion comes from God.
Ain't even that midnight. Go get some real popcorn, man. Go ahead and cook it, man. Take 2 minutes, man. Go ahead.
Talk to me. So Mufti
said, I can't miss this.
Bro, I'll add you though.
Kendrick, Aki, the waswas is the evil whispers, the shaitan, right? So if we understand that the human being has limited free will based upon what to do what, cause mischief and bloodshed based upon our own free will, and then listening to the waswas of the shaitan, that's where that comes from.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't even know why you did all that. That's crazy.
Hey, yo, where'd he go?
Hey, Mufti. Can I go ahead and engage with you with a minute? Because you call yourself that you're Mufti. I just want to engage with the 99 attributes of Allah with you. I want to test your knowledge according to that.
Before you get to that,
we already did that.
Because we never.
No.
Surah 3, Ayah 7.
Hold on. Let me just ask you a question. Okay, according to 99 attributes of Allah, I just want to see where we can get with this. All right. Do you believe that the 99 attributes of Allah are identical to the essence or other than the essence?
Allah knows best.
What? All right. Do you believe that the 99 attributes, are they distinct?
What do you mean by distinct? Separate?
Are they distinct, like separate?
So therefore creating 99 different gods?
I'm asking you a question, bro.
I'm asking you a question so I understand.
That's what he's trying to get to say.
Are the knowledge
not necessarily created? He's asking you if the attributes belong to Allah or are they from Allah?
I don't know. Allah knows best. I don't know what you're trying to do with this. Teach me.
Let me ask you this question. Is the knowledge of Allah uncreated or created?
Allah knows best. Teach me.
Bruh.
So you don't know anything, bro. You don't know anything about
I'm asking you to teach me.
Allahu Ya'lam. Bro, it's you guys as 99 attributes. I'm literally asking you questions. You should know better, bro.
Does Allah know best? Is that what you're... Allah know best?
So whatever we ask you questions, you're gonna say Allah knows best. Allahu ya'lam. That's it.
I didn't say that. You're trying to set a trap, but I'm not stupid.
You just said that.
Get to the point.
No, it's not about setting a trap. Let me ask you this question: are the 99 attributes uncreated and eternal?
Are they a part of Allah?
Are they uncreated and eternal?
But who is Allah? If we understand Allah, it has no beginning or end. That question answers itself.
I'll do you one better. Why is Allah?
What do you mean by why is Allah? What do you mean by that?
It's a reference. It's a joke to lighten the mood.
Hey, Black Doctor, who said that? It's Allah.
That's crazy. Hold on.
I'm a student of knowledge, right? I'm not a scholar. I'm a student of knowledge. And the first thing they can teach us is to say Allah knows best.
You call yourself that you're mufti, but yeah, you say Allah knows the best. How can you consider yourself as a mufti? You should change your name. You should change your name right now, because you're not even a mufti yet. You haven't even addressed one question that has been provided to you whatsoever.
How about guys? Let's change gears here a little bit. Let's change gears a little bit here. Mufti, why are you a Muslim?
Why am I a Muslim? Because I believe in the oneness of Allah. I understand that there is only one God, even based upon the concept of the three Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and we all believe in the exact same God. Just the principles and practices are different. That's it.
All right. Okay. How do you know that the previous prophets believed in the exact same God that you do?
Because if we refer to the Torah, or we refer to the Injil, right, or we refer to the Psalms or the Dead Sea Scrolls, or we refer to the Quran, it all gives. They come one after another in succession, believing and giving truth to the people to believe in only one God. That's it.
Okay. So if okay, good. So that means that we should find, when we do refer back to the Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms, when we refer back to the writings of the prophets, then we should see, TikTok kicked you, we should see a correlation or a continuation of the same teaching, right? The same concept of God being taught.
Like the belief in one God, yes.
So not just belief in one God, because even demons believe in one God, jinns believe in one God. Many people believe in one God, but it can be a false God, right? Somebody can believe in a statute as their one God, but that doesn't mean that they're on the right path, right?
Right, but I'm talking about from the Abrahamic faiths.
Exactly.
We're talking about these three. Yes, it's the same.
So we should, when we read the previous prophets, we should see that what they taught about God is the same. It matches.
If the story is correct, yes, it should line up, because the Quran came last, so therefore the Quran will give back and back and back. That's how you refer that to.
The Quran came last, so therefore it's confirming what came before it.
Yes,
and it's supposed to.
Before you even try to jumble these guys, you know why.
All right, so let's relax. Let's relax.
What did I say about interrupting again?
So Doctor is a pastor. Like Doctor, he's a pastor.
So when we go to the Torah, Deuteronomy, for example, and see what Moses taught about God, what Abraham believed about God. When we go to the Gospel, we see what Jesus believed about God. You're saying that it matches what the Quran teaches about God?
It should.
And if it doesn't, then what?
You don't take it.
Why?
Because it's not the truth. It's no longer the same story. It got changed.
What determines if it got changed?
The belief. The moment is the truth that went in the light, right? So now if you go, let's Deuteronomy 18:18, whatever it is, Mark 10:18, whatever verse you want to read, whatever verse you want to pull from, if it changes direction, that means there's a shift. Do I follow this shift, or do I go back to what was before it and get back on a straight path?
I know. I'm asking what determines if it was changed or not.
The concept, like if me saying that Jesus is now God, that means it's changed.
Wait.
Did the people before that believe that? Did Jesus himself?
Wait, stop. That's not what I'm asking. I'm not. If there's something in the Torah, the Gospel, or the Psalms that we find that disagrees with the Quran, you're saying that you wouldn't take that because that means it was changed?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. What is the evidence of it being changed? Simply because the Quran disagrees with it?
That is the fact that I would rely to, yes, is the Quran. But what is the verse saying?
Got it. So the Quran, the Quran doesn't tell you that it judges the previous scriptures or whatever. It doesn't tell you that it does that.
It does. This is the book in which we give guidance to what comes before.
It says it. No.
All manners and affairs.
The Quran never says that it gives guidance on what came before it. It says it confirms what came before.
Yes, it does. It says it confirms.
It confirms.
But to confirm is giving guidance.
No. To confirm means that you affirm that this is true. Not that you give guidance or judge on it.
To affirm the truth. To affirm the truth is guidance.
No, it affirms that it is true. So, like, if I hold on, for example,
confirming what is true, not that it is true.
Guys, excuse me. For example, if you were to write a letter, Mufti, you wrote a letter, and then 2 days later I write a letter, and in my letter I say my letter is a confirmation of Mufti's letter that came before me. That means that I'm confirming that the letter that you wrote is true. I'm attesting to your letter.
That's true.
If good confirms your letter, meaning it's saying that your letter is true, while at the same time says some things that contradict your letter, whose letter is false, mine or yours?
Bro, the Quran says that it confirms what is true, not that it is true.
I'll bring it back. No, it doesn't. I'll bring it back.
What? I'll show you the verse.
I'll bring it back. Mufti, you write a letter.
Right.
I write a letter after you write a letter, and in my letter it says it confirms your letter.
Right.
But in my letter, when we actually look at it, there's some things in it that contradicts your letter.
It doesn't.
So whose letter is true? Yours or mine?
It says a few things about your letter. It says it came to confirm your letter. It says that your letter has been changed.
Focus on the analogy, please. Focus on the analogy.
But that analogy is only narrow. Your analogy makes the Quran wrong is because the books before it are saying something different. But when the Quran tells you and admits that those things are saying something different, then you have to cross reference to see and how those things occur.
Okay, show me from the Quran where it says that the previous book says something different.
Okay, so in the Quran, it definitely says to the Jews and the Christians, do not exaggerate on your religion at the time of Isa alayhi salam's arrival. So when you look right there, yes, it does.
Brother,
yes,
I'm asking, look, I'm very simple. Show me where in the Quran it says that there's been some things changed in the previous scriptures where it doesn't say the same things that it used to say. Show me where the Quran says that.
It does, though. That's what I'm telling you.
Show us.
Show me.
I just quoted the hadith where it says, I just quoted the ayah where it says that do not exaggerate in your religion. What those words are implicating is that in the time when Jesus came, people started lying about.
Very good. All right, beautiful. So people started lying about what was said, correct?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. I have a Quran. I literally have a Quran. Mm-hmm. Now let's say I read the Quran and I say, wow, in this Quran, it teaches that Jesus is God and one in essence with Allah. Am I lying about what the Quran says?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that mean that the Quran has been changed, or am I just misinterpreting what the Quran says?
Mm-hmm. You're misinterpreting what the Quran says.
So that doesn't, so it doesn't mean that the book was changed. It just means I'm lying about what the book says. So just with the example that you gave, the Quran is saying that people are lying about what the book says, not that the book itself was changed.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah, it does. It says with the change the scripture with their own hands.
No, it doesn't say that they changed the scripture with their own hands. It says, woe to those. It says, woe to those who write the scripture with their own hands, claiming that it's from God, trying to sell it for a small price.
Okay, so here's my question to you. If in the Bible...
Keep reading.
All right, keep reading. Yes, please keep reading.
It says it.
This is from Allah seeking a fleeting gain. So woe to them for what their hands have written, and woe to them for what they have earned.
Their hands have written.
Thank you.
So this is the hands. It's not just the line.
Okay, so all right, here's another example. Let's say I have a book, right, that I'm claiming is the Quran.
Okay.
Yet it contradicts everything that the Quran says. Contradicts everything. I wrote it with my own hands, though. Does that mean that the actual Quran has been changed and corrupted?
No.
No. I just wrote a false book claiming that it's from God, right?
Right.
Okay. So that doesn't mean, again, that the actual Quran has been changed, just like with that text you just read. It's not saying that the actual Torah has been changed, but that people...
What are you on about? This is referring to the Jews and the Christians that have distorted
No, you quoted chapter 2, right? Chapter
No, go ahead.
Exactly. It's not even talking about the Christians. It's talking about the Jews and how some of them, even the verse before that, says that they don't even know the book. They don't know the book. They're illiterate.
There's one that says about the Christians as well that says that...
Dude, it's saying right. What is the word there? It's talking about
it's
the
right,
right,
not distort.
Not
Woe to
distort,
those who
bro.
write the scripture with their own hands, not distort.
Right.
Yaktubuna.
It's the same. You're playing semantics. I don't know why y'all do that.
I'm not playing semantics. We got to be real with the text.
No, it's cool. Go ahead.
Surah 2, ayah 136. Say ye who believe in God and the revelation given to us and to Abraham, to Ishmael, to Isaac, to Jacob, and to the tribes, that was given to Moses and given to Jesus, and that was given to all prophets from their Lord. We make no difference between one and another of them, and we bow to God.
Good.
That is it. That is that one verse that says it is one. It's always been one. So now it's up to us to change it.
Line up, right?
Yes.
It should.
So if we go into what the previous prophets taught, watch. If we go into what the previous prophets taught, and yet we find that the Quran actually contradicted what they taught, then that would mean that the Quran is false. It lied.
It is what your people have put their hands upon and changed it and made it their own belief.
The Quran doesn't say that. All right, let's go with this now.
It does.
Wait, Avery.
The Quran does say that.
Bro, I still wonder here. In order, the logic doesn't make sense here. The logic doesn't make sense. If the two books are contradictory, that doesn't automatically pin the fault on corruption. Again, the Quran could just be false. In order to show, if I could finish a point, in order to make the claim that the Bible is corrupted in its textual transmission, then you're going to have to prove it textually. So, do any of you have any expertise or any familiarity?
I did already. I told you you're exaggerating on your religion. Exaggeration means to embellish.
Kendrick,
what did I say about interrupting me,
bro? He's not even done with his question.
What did I say about interrupting me? I'm being nice to you. So like I said, do any of you know anything or familiar at all with textual criticism in relationship to the New Testament?
First of all, the New Testament was written by who? What country?
It's just a yes or no, Mufti. It's just a yes or no. I asked you whether I asked you whether or not the sky is blue, not whether you went to go get a cheeseburger.
The sky is blue. Actually, you missed the light from the ocean.
That's exactly the point. You could actually answer the question. So answer this question: Are you familiar with New Testament textual criticism? Yes or no?
To an extent, but I do not have my computer, so we're not even going to get into that.
Well, we can get into that. You just wouldn't have to be able to participate in the argument. So if you're going to say that the New Testament is corrupted because it disagrees with the Quran, you're going to have actual proof that it was textually corrupted in the time of the 7th century. And I know for a fact you can't.
When you say textual proof, are you saying in the holy books?
Yes, meaning that if you're saying that if the gospel or the Torah is contradicting the Quran because it's been changed, that this is not what it originally said, then you will have to bring textual evidence of a change. You'll have to bring manuscripts or scrolls that show that these particular verses have been changed and this is what it used to say.
It doesn't
have a standard.
It does it in the Bible.
Okay, that's a fair question. My only answer to that would be the exact same ayat that I've been quoting about not embellishing on your faith, is because the Quran, what makes any scripture of God powerful is that the words themselves are like entendres. They have multiple meanings when you sit back and reflect on them. So when it says don't embellish on your religion, you simply could be telling a white lie. This guy could be over here writing a whole daggone manuscript. This is what's going on at the time. So that would be my only answer.
What you're bringing is that the Quran is only saying that they're lying about what their text says, not that their actual texts have been changed, but that they are just lying about what their text says, which I would agree with you. The Quran says that.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that, and that is the reason why they say we can't take from the Bible, because you don't know whether.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say you can't take from the Bible. Muhammad said you can't take from what the Jews and the Christians tell you. Like, you got to take it with a grain of salt because they be lying.
Okay, listen. That's almost two different ayahs. We have to take it all at once. That's what you're talking about. Some preachers at that time. We're talking about the text that's out. If the line in another ayah is talking about them embellishing again, then that goes and supersedes. Then not only can we not take from the preachers, we cannot take from this book, because it's saying.
Wait. Stop. Because I think that we're talking past each other. You brought up the example where the Quran is saying, do not excess in your religion and say falsehood that's not true about Allah, right?
Right.
So it's only talking about.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that the text has been changed. It just means that they're lying.
But that's what the Bible is based on. The Bible is based on stories.
One at a time. I can't hear you.
Yeah, the Bible is based on stories, what people have spoken around the era of Jesus, right? That's what it's about?
No. Wait. It's from eyewitness testimony, let alone Avery, go ahead.
So is the Quran. Like the Quran is testimony. It's verbal witnessing about what was said.
Sure, no problem. But if it's eyewitness accounts and people telling the story about Jesus and the disciples and whatnot, then this is what it's referring to. I mean, if people are saying that this is Christianity, then that's what it means.
It's literally referring to the gospel that the Christians had in the 7th century, which was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what
your sources quote it.
That's not that's not the Injil.
Ibn Ishaq and Ibn Isham quote it.
Beautiful. He said it's not the Injil. So now tell me what it is. Since you know what the Injil is not, you know what the Injil is. So what is it?
Yeah, it's the direct revelation given to Jesus.
What is that though?
We don't know if it was written down or not.
Wait, how do you go to chapter 7 verse 157? My goodness. We don't know if the Injil was written down.
It definitely was written down.
Thank you, Kendrick.
No, we don't know if it's written down. We don't
go to chapter 7, verse 150. No, it's okay.
The revelation to use, we don't know.
It's okay. I'm about to teach you.
There's normal stories in the Quran.
No, you're not teaching. This is what the scholars say. We don't know.
Go to chapter 7, verse 157. I'm about to teach you.
Okay, so those who follow the messenger, the unlettered prophet, whom they find written in the what they have of the Torah and the gospel, who enjoys upon them what is right and
was the gospel written according to that verse?
Yes.
In what they have of the Torah and the gospel, who enjoys.
So was the gospel written according to that verse?
Obviously, no. Obviously, your book is written, but it's not saying that the revelation.
Was the gospel written according to that verse, Abs? Come on, just be honest with me, bro.
Yes, in Aramaic it was.
Thank you, Mufti. It doesn't say Aramaic. Yes.
But it was definitely in Aramaic because that's the language he spoke.
How do you know that?
Where were they at?
How do you know where they were?
Geographical location. If it was modern day, what?
Based on what?
Books.
What books?
Historical books.
The Quran itself.
No. Time out. This is important.
It doesn't say what land it is. I'm just telling you.
Hold on. This is important. How do you know that Jesus spoke Aramaic and where he was geographically? How do you know this?
So you believe he spoke Greek?
No. How do you know this?
The Bible.
Thank you. It's beautiful, Mufti. So
look, like you said, the Bible.
No, that's right. I like that. That was called.
So watch this.
Well, hold on. Wait. Don't manifest. Listen to Avery.
Now, time out. Now, you just proved to me that where you get your historical, accurate information about the life of Jesus, where he was geographically, the language that he spoke, you get it from the Bible. So you can't reject the same source that you depend on.
No,
okay, good. All right.
You heard me say that. You can play
with that.
Everybody pause. Watch this. Where in the Quran does it tell you Jesus spoke Aramaic? Where in the Quran does it tell you where or when Jesus was?
You would have to look in the Bible.
Thank you, Kendrick. I love Kendrick. You're welcome anytime. You're welcome, Kendrick. My goodness.
I'm glad to change your name to Kendrick Lamar because you spitting.
No, the thing of it is, it says that we believe in the Torah and the Injil. So there's certain facets of this that we have to take in order for the Quran to hold weight.
Exactly. Did you just hear what he just said? No, wait. Repeat that, Kendrick. Repeat it.
It sounded like I described the anchor, but what I'm saying is there's certain facets of the book we have to take in order for the Quran to hold weight.
In order for the Quran to hold weight, you need the Bible in certain areas.
This
Kendrick, say that again.
Kendrick,
you
say that again. Are not. Wait a second. Let me just say this because I love giving props where props is due. Kendrick, you're not far from the kingdom because it wasn't flesh and blood that revealed that to you, but my Father in heaven. You're close, man.
Kendrick, say what you said again.
You like
what do you say about the Bible, Kendrick?
Avery just called Kendrick Peter.
Hey, Kendrick, say what you said again about the Bible. Yo, Kendrick, say what you said again about the Bible. What is it you said exactly?
He said.
What do you mean, say?
Let Kendrick say. Let Kendrick say.
What are you saying? But the part where I said there's certain facets of this information that you have to take in order for the Quran to hold weight.
Yeah, that's part of the 6 pillars. Like we don't deny that.
So yes, but here's where your problem is, Mufti, is that you do deny that though. As soon look.
Specific verses, yeah.
You can't look, and that's the part you can't say. Look, bro. You can't say in one point that the Quran, in certain aspects, for it to hold weight, it needs the Bible, it needs the previous scriptures for it to hold weight. While at the same time, as soon as we go into the previous scriptures, you then reject them. It's not logically consistent.
Right, but some verses will contradict themselves within the book, within the Bible, that will contradict themselves.
That's a presupposition, and it's completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant.
No, it's not. No, it is not.
Because guys, remember what the point. Remember what the point is. Kendrick still said it. Whether you believe the book is contradictory or not, you need the text in order to tell you about Jesus, in order to validate the Quran.
Okay, that's what he said.
If I could finish, Kendrick was right. You need our book in order to validate yours. This is the entire point of us going to Surah 7, 157.
Kendrick, does he believe that?
If I could finish, your text says that your prophet is written in our text. So in order for us to believe what your Quran is saying is true, we have to go to our books. Let alone your text says that if we do not judge by the Torah and the Injil, we are the defiantly disobedient, and I don't want to be that. So it needs
it's just misrepresentation after misrepresentation.
The authority and power of the Quran itself. That's why it's so important.
Listen, I'm not sure what Kendrick's saying all of this, but we don't need the Bible to
but we don't need them though.
We don't need it.
Go ahead, Mufti, because you wanted to finish what you were saying.
You have Abraham, the verses I read before you, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Jesus. It says giving confirmation to what comes before. We as Muslims have the 5 pillars and the 6 articles of faith. And within the 6 articles of faith is the belief in all books, belief in the books that were sent before us. So Muslims do not deny this, right? But it is the books in their true form. Their true form, not what we have in front of us now. So now, Mark 10:18. Read Mark 10:18.
No.
We're gonna do this because I'm gonna go to another verse.
This is the problem here, bro. This is the problem.
I would like to have this conversation.
If you're saying, like literally all we need, because the Quran defends our book for us. This is why we don't have to use our book to do it. Your Quran defends it.
Yeah, the real Injil. That's what keep saying.
The Quran is one of the best biblical apologists on the planet. I'm telling you.
But also the Quran was false.
So look, when you have here the Quran saying that it confirms the scriptures, like I'm about to show you, Mufti, the problem with your logic. I'm showing you the problem with your logic. Okay, this is how you're being inconsistent.
Not my logic.
Quran say that.
Believe in its entirety what was sent before it. And the Quran is a confirmation confirming what was sent before.
Good. Now watch this.
Confirmation is the belief in one God. All that other stuff don't matter.
Wait, no, it doesn't say belief. It doesn't say belief in the one God. It says belief in the books.
What is Abraham's belief? Those who follow Abraham's belief.
It's belief in the books, period. Not in just one concept in the book. You have to believe in those books.
What was Abraham's
book? But not Hebrews and Romans and Revelation. It's referring to the Injil.
All of it. Wait.
No, it's not Revelations and Hebrews and Romans.
In the 7th century, did the Christians have possession of Hebrews and Revelation?
That's not the Injil, though.
Answer the question.
That's not what he asked.
That's what Paul wrote.
Did they have possession of Revelation and Hebrews?
You had a Bible, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Thank you. So they had possession of it. Now, go over and read chapter 4, verse 47. Read chapter 4, verse 47.
Okay.
Mash Yeshua. We are having a Quran study today, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all really don't know what y'all stepped in. Y'all dealing with a shake right now. Y'all dealing with
Nah, don't even try to do it.
Allah bless you. Yes, every brother.
Yeah. So, look, I got a question just off the top of my head while y'all look like real quick.
Can't hear you.
Let me ask this question. So
hold up. As was about to go to Surah 4. Do you have that, Abs, or do we need to go back to Kendrick?
Was being revealed to you that confirms the previous scriptures.
Read the entire verse. Don't be dishonest.
It's because I'm on my phone, that's why.
Oh, sorry. So what did it say? Yeah, when you go off the app, we can't hear you. But yeah, those watching on YouTube, over 700 people watching on YouTube. Make sure everybody hits that like button.
Cash out me my money for being here because I'm supporting your live. Don't do that, bro. Go ahead and cut me in, bro.
Tell the people to hit the like button.
No, you.
If you're part of the Logic Squad, you can be part of it, Mufti. You know, we got open space.
So when we can easily invite you to the original Quran only Christians. There is always spots open, bro.
Always open.
Y'all don't want to do that, bro. I'm gonna turn all y'all off.
So make sure you guys hit that like button on YouTube if you haven't already. Make sure there's over 700 likes, guys. Let's do this, man. I appreciate you guys. And thank you all for the super chats, man. Edgar dropping it big. Thank you guys. Miles dropping super chats. And then a huge
you like it
too. Everybody, Jesus is my Lord. Thank you guys so much.
I'm going to get up out of here on y'all, man. I'll be back.
Wait, where you going? Oh, you busy now? Hi. Mufti, follow me, man, and come back, okay?
I got you, bro. Tap in.
We got to finish this. All right, take care.
Assalamu alaikum. For the most part.
So, Abs, you got that verse, man?